listening to Thriving Mindfully podcast with Ananda Leeke. Tune in and learn how you can be present, well, and the real you from the heart. Hi, everybody. This weekend, journalist Maria Boynton, host of Atlanta Up Close on News Talk 1380 WAOK-FM in Atlanta, invited me to share what it means to mother yourself when you're grieving your mother. During the interview, I discussed the peaceful transition of my mom, Theresa Leeke, and how I've been using my Thriving Mindfully Academy's 5 self-love languages to navigate my grief journey. The interview is based on an article that I recently wrote for Black Health Matters entitled, Mothering Yourself as You Grieve Your Mother. Listen to an excerpt from this interview now.
Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Maria. Have a great day.
My guest today is Ananda Leeke, a writer. How are you doing, Ananda?
I'm doing great, Maria. It's so good to be here with you and with all my folks in hot Atlanta. Shout outs to everybody that is moving and grooving, graduating.
Got to tell you, everyone, how I became connected with Ananda. Saw an article through a blackhealthmatters.com story, and you talked about mothering yourself as you grieve your mother. Everyone, Ananda Leeke is my guest. She is a thriving mindfully coach, an artist, a human design doula, grief and you retreat facilitator, and author of Love's Troubadours, That Which Awakens Me, and Digital Sisterhood. I gotta ask, what's a human design doula?
Quick, so human design, if you think of human design as a marriage between astrology and Myers-Briggs, it's a self-development and self-empowerment tool that was started back in 1987. And what it does is it helps you be the real you by making better decisions. And we look at your whole makeup, and it's a compilation of astrology, of the Hindu chakra system, of the Jewish Kabbalah, of quantum physics, and the Chinese I Ching. And so, yeah, you can go to my website. There's a tab at the top called Human Design and find out more.
So, Nanda, where are you right now?
I'm based in D.C., formerly known as Chocolate City.
Well, of course, we love our folks in D.C. You know, so many of us, we go to D.C., we graduate from Howard, we do our thing in D.C., then we come right back to Atlanta.
That's right. And thank you for giving a shout out to Howard University, one of my alma maters.
We're talking about mothering yourself as you grieve your mother. When did you lose your mother? When did your mother pass on?
So my mother, Theresa B. Gartin Leeke, made her transition to ancestorhood on July 9th, 2023. And she made her transition in my presence. And I am so grateful for that.
So everyone, we're talking to Ananda Leeke, and the subject matter is mothering yourself as you grieve your mother. When you talk about losing your mother, you being in her presence, did it all come to you at one time of the realization, or has it been taking over a time period for you to come to the realization of what actually occurred to you that day?
No, it was in real time. My mom had been dealing with some heart issues for a while, and she'd been in the hospital for a week, and it looked like she was getting ready to come home and have a surgery to correct the situation with her heart. She went to the bathroom. We had been joking and laughing, and she didn't come out. You know, I heard a thump, and I went in, and I saw her head resting against the wall. And I knew as I was shaking her that she had made her transition, but I screamed for the nurses, asked them to check to see if it was a stroke. And I just kept saying, this can't be her existence. And thankfully, that was not her existence, that she made her transition peacefully. I saw her in her full self. She was rocking and rolling as the Theresa we all knew and loved, and still love as a spirit.
Ananda, you talk about swimming in an ocean of the unknown and,
yes,
and having no control. Explain that to me.
So swimming in the ocean of unknown is what happens after the person passes, because you're faced with a lot of details, most of us, and you got all these emotions coming up. And grief is an emotion and an energy. It's a response to the loss, the spiritual loss, the emotional loss, the physical loss, all of that, the psychological loss. And so you don't have a rule book and you can't control it. And if you're a recovering control freak like me, you lost. You swimming out there in an ocean of unknown because you don't know what's coming next.
Ananda Leeke is my guest, everybody. It is Mother's Day. We're talking about mothering yourself as you grieve your mother. You've got to be able to, open up to others to help yourself too, you say?
I think that being able to access the support of folks that you trust and that you feel safe with, not everybody, but people that you feel safe with and that you trust, whether that is a family member, a partner, a friend, a trained professional like a therapist or a coach, an accountability partner, a spiritual community, prayer partner. But yes, I think it helps to be able to be in community and connected with folks.
So these are people who, they matter to you, I guess. The people who allow you to be heard, seen, loved. You're loved by them too?
Yes. And I would also say too, you don't actually have to always know people. You can be in a support group. Sometimes being with folks who don't know you that well, where you're with like-minded people who are also going through a similar experience or have gone through that experience can be of great support too.
You seem to have been struggling to a degree to make sense of yourself in the life of absence of your mother's physical presence here. What helped you to bring everything together?
So this is an ongoing experience. I by no means have it all together, and this is why we're here on Earth, to walk out the path. It's ongoing learning and growth, and grief just accelerates the intensity for me. And so for me, what I turned to were the 5 self-love languages that I developed in my work with the Thriving Mindfully Academy. It's a heart-centered approach to being present well in the real you. And it's an online community as well as education platform. And so during the early days of the pandemic, I took what I had been using over the course of the last 30 years and put it into 5 self-love languages.
Okay.
And so the first self-love language is affirm yourself with loving, kind, and compassionate, inspiring, and encouraging words. And you can do that by reciting affirmations or prayers. You can chant mantras if that's something that resonates with you. You can sing songs. Engage in positive self-talk, reminding yourself that you're worthy, that you're valuable, that you're loved, journaling your thoughts, writing out your feelings, talking or writing to your mother's spirit. Those are just some of the examples that I've been able to use.
Yeah, you talked too about honoring your body with physical touch and movement.
Yes, that's the second one. And that right there, I'm going to tell you, I learned within the first couple of weeks of the pandemic, because I'm a hugger. Back in 2020, I didn't think I was going to make it out alive because I love to hug people. And so I did a lot of research online one day and found out the power of hugging yourself. So it turns out that when you hug yourself for 20 seconds or more, what you do is you activate what I like to call your super self-care, self-love powers, and you activate oxytocin, the love hormone, and the feel-good hormone of serotonin, and together they reduce the stress, the cortisol in the body. So self-hug is one way that you can honor your body with physical touch. When we talk about movement, we're talking about any kind of physical movement that you can do with your body. For me, that is yoga, that's Tai Chi, it's tennis like this morning, it's walking, it's strength training, it's biking, it's dancing, and other fitness activities. And one thing I want to mention is that when we think about physical touch, sometimes we don't always think about grooming and skincare. My mom loved lotions and body products, and so I honor her every day with this beautiful thick rose lotion that I use. And that is how I have been able to ground myself. Because all these practices, these self-love languages, self-care languages, they're about grounding yourself so that whatever is happening in terms of the grief, that you know that you're okay, that you know you're okay. You have something in your toolbox. You can't make the grief go away, but what you can do is pick something that works for you in that moment.
She's Ananda Leeke, everyone, and we're talking about mothering yourself as you grieve your mother. Ananda, you talk about number 3 is reclaiming your time by prioritizing yourself first and scheduling me time that renews you, talking about breathing deeply, meditation, things of that nature. You also talk about serving yourself by doing acts that express how you care about yourself. What do you mean by that?
That is making sure that you set boundaries to protect yourself from energy drains. It's making your health appointments. It's cleaning and organizing your home, doing things that your future self will say thank you to you for.
You say celebrate yourself just because you are with the gift of time. What do you do in that?
So when you're celebrating yourself just because you are you with the gift of time, that's where you find something that's meaningful to you, that you can say, I'm honoring myself. We don't celebrate ourselves in this society. And so making it through a moment, a minute, a day, especially when you're grieving, that's a celebration. So finding something like a sipping tea, or like this morning, I lit incense. Maybe it's putting on something that your mother used to wear. Maybe it's taking a look at some flowers. Maybe it's taking yourself on a walk or drinking a smoothie. Maybe it's wearing your favorite lipstick. I know I like to wear some of my mom's lipsticks. It's all of those things that are meaningful to you that let you celebrate yourself.
So it's called Mothering You While You Grieve the Loss of Your Mother. Ananda Leeke, thank you so much for sharing this insight with my listeners today.
You're welcome. And I'd like to encourage folks, if you're looking for more resources, hit me up. Go to AnandaLeeke.com/events. There are a number of things that I'm offering this spring and summer, so check me out.
She's Ananda Leeke, everybody. AnandaLeeke. Thank you, Ananda.
All right. Thank you so much.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Are you struggling with death, loss, and grief, and or interested in exploring how to embrace thriving mindfully with death, loss, and grief in your life, your relationships, and in your career? If you've answered yes to these questions, I want to invite you to come to the Grief in You retreat. It is a 2-day nurturing experience, 90 minutes each day, that I am leading on April 13th and 21st, May 4th and 5th, June 29th and 30th, July 27th and 28th, August 24th and 25th, September 28th and 29th, October 26th and 27th, November 16th and 17th, and then finally December 14th and 15th in 2024 from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via Zoom. Now, you can go to AnandaLeeke.com/events to get more information. Remember, this is a 2-day retreat, 90 minutes each day. And I'm offering it each month from April until December of 2024. We had our first retreat in March of 2024, and I learned through that experience that this should be a 2-day retreat. So I will see you at the retreat. Bye. One of the best ways to develop your own understanding of human design is by getting a reading, by getting a coaching session. And so that's what I'm offering as your human design doula. Go to AnandaLeeke.com/human design to learn how we can work together. Thanks for tuning in to the Thriving Mindfully podcast. If you're ready to be inspired and empowered with my coaching support, join me in the Thriving Mindfully Academy. Visit AnandaLeeke.com/academy. Now, if you're ready to dive deeper and move past your comfort zone with my one-on-one coaching program, book a discovery call with me today. Visit AnandaLeeke.com. If you need something juicy to read, check out my 3 mindfulness books, Love's Troubadours, a self-love and yoga-inspired novel, That Which Awakens Me, a mindful creativity memoir, and Digital Sisterhood, a mindful technology memoir. Go to AnandaLeeke.com/books. All of my books are available on Amazon.com. Well, that about wraps us up. And as I always like to say, may we all continue to embrace thriving mindfully in everything that we think, feel, say, and do. See you next time.